Hello learner, welcome to Manifested e-learning platform. My name is James Kenyani. We are going to proceed again with a lesson on similarity and enlargement, but today we are going to start looking at the properties of enlargement, and today we shall mainly dwell on positive enlargement. So the objective of the lesson is to enable the learner to acquaint himself or to know some of the basic properties we have when we have enlargement. So it is for the learner to acquaint or understand the basic properties of enlargement. To a layman, enlargement is to increase in size. But in our case, it is going to be a proportionate increase in size. It is going to be a proportionate increase in size. So to understand that, I'll have a diagram on the board for us to actually get the basics of enlargement. So there is a diagram there where there is an object that is being projected somewhere. Long ago, before we had improvement in technology, we had projectiles which used to project pictures on a large screen, especially in outdoor places where people could watch films. So I'm using an example where we have the projectile is here. I can call this the projector. So on my object, I can have A and I can have B. I can have A prime, A1 and B1. So in the diagram, I can say this is the object and that is my image on the screen. So another condition that is given is the object so that is another condition given in that enlargement. The object is midway. It is a half the distance from the projector to the screen. That gives a typical enlargement. That one gives a typical enlargement. When that happens, you'll find that A1 divided by A2 will give 2. And B1 divided by B2, A1 divided by A and B1 divided by B will give 2. What does that mean? It means the breadth, the length of the length has increased by 2. The length has doubled and the width the width B1 has doubled. So just to the length A1 has doubled. So what do we see? We can explain something from there. The image, the object has doubled in size. It has enlarged by a scale factor 2. It has enlarged by a scale factor 2. So what you should know, an enlargement So learner, notice that an enlargement is correctly described by stating the center of enlargement and the scale factor. For our case here, our center of enlargement is where the projector is. Somebody is wondering what a projector could be. In those times when you had films, the projector is mostly the source. It produces light, which has to go through these, and the image will be seen on that screen. So an enlargement is correctly described by stating the center and the scale factor of enlargement. So if you are to describe this enlargement, we would state the center, P, and also the scale factor. A place where the sides of the image have increased by 2, have doubled, we describe that as a center of enlargement, center P, and scale factor 2. So the correct So in such a case, we describe that enlargement above as enlargement center P and scale factor 2. Scale factor 2. The sides of that, the linear measurements of that object have increased by 2. They have doubled. So in such a case, we say the linear scale factor is 2. So the most important thing is to state the enlargement, state the center of enlargement and the scale factor of enlargement. You are supposed to state the scale factor of enlargement. So it is easy to tell when you are given a scale factor of enlargement. So if this is 4, and I say a scale factor of enlargement is 5, if this is 4 centimeters, and the scale factor of enlargement is 5, this will be 4 times 5 to get 20. If this is 3, and the scale factor of enlargement is still 5, B1 will then be 3 times 5 to get 15. So this can help us to get the dimensions of the object and the dimensions of the image. They can help us to get the dimensions of the object and dimensions of the image. So initially, if we have a center of enlargement and you are given the object, you can prolong these. You'll find these. This will determine, since this was a halfway, if this was 20 centimeters, this will be the center of enlargement. And note that that distance will be a perpendicular distance to the center of that image. It is a perpendicular distance. A line drawn will be perpendicular to that plane. So having done that, a simple description of enlargement will be a proportionate increase in the size of an object. So what changes in that object? It is the linear dimensions if it is a plane. So at this stage, we've used a plane. We've used a plane. So the linear dimensions have increased in that enlargement. And we are able to describe the enlargement using a center and a scale factor. In our case, our center was P and the scale factor is 2. So if you are given a center and the image, you can prolong that. You can prolong that to get the image at any enlargement. At any enlargement, if they say a scale factor 2, you'll find the image will double. Scale factor 3, it will triple. The linear dimensions will triple. So having done that, there is something I described which I want to explain. We talked of positive enlargement. Positive enlargement. Positive enlargement is when the enlargement takes place in the same direction, of the center of enlargement. It is only on one direction. It is not on this and the other direction. So, positive positive enlargement is when the enlargement takes place on one side of the center of enlargement, like it has taken place only on this side. We don't have the image the other side and the object the other side. Such a case is called positive enlargement. And in such a case, note that in such a case, the scale factor mostly denoted by K is positive. Like in our case here, this factor will be positive. When we'll come to negative, which we'll not deal with right now, the scale factor will be negative. The scale factor will be negative. So at that juncture, it's good to have a short assignment. So for that assignment, so for those who do not know the book I'm talking about, that is the book Mathematics for Kenya Schools by Patel. That is book 2. You'll work out number 1 and number 2 of exercise 7.2, number 1 and number 2. So get more practice as you work out and get the solutions of the 2 questions before we continue in the next lesson. So thank you very much for your audience. Continue enjoying the lessons and let's meet in the next lesson. So bye-bye.